Hello Lisa, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the real MVP. So lovely, I came across this video right for you, and I thought to share where this pan-colored woman is actually calling out black women for criticizing a pan-colored woman who questioned the availability of a bouncing castle during a protest for her children. This got people reacting, and so many other pan-colored women have their own opinion about the discourse. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
After attending a protest yesterday, a white woman on Threads, before you drop down in the comments and ask me why are you bringing up race is important to the context of this video. Stay focused. Let's focus in here. This white woman, after attending the protest, hopped on Threads yesterday and said that there needs to be more child-friendly activities at the protest and suggested perhaps a bouncy house. And she has been called out by several black women about how insane and tone deaf that request is. A white activist, YouTuber, Keith Edwards, is now dragging these black women in defense of this white woman who requested a bouncy house and child-free or child-friendly activities at protests. And this lets me know two things that I've long suspected from my observations of a lot of these protests that have been happening. One, I haven't been seeing a lot of us out there. Shout out to us. Shout out to us. And two, the energy at these protests are vastly different from the Black Lives Matter protest from 4 or 5 years ago. And it shows not just in the energy with which people are showing up in and the response to the feedback some people are getting as a result of these protests. One of my mutuals was on Threads, Evan. If you don't follow him, he's great, Black Academics. He was on Threads sharing advice for people who were attending these protests, and they were all safety measures. You know, make sure to shield your face, make sure your people know where you are, turn off of your phone. A lot of advice centered around the safety of the protesters who are showing up. Meanwhile, this Keith Edwards dude who is dragging these black women and punching down on them for even having the audacity to critique this white woman's response. This man was at the protest live streaming it for YouTube. Face exposed. No danger of safety. No threat of safety. This is entertainment for him. A couple of years ago, I watched a documentary, and it was like interviewing a lot of older black activists and older black people who marched in the civil rights protests or participated in several different organizations. And something that they said will always stand out to me, that when they were going to these protests, they never let their parents know they were going because they knew their parents would fight tooth and nail to get them out of that environment. Their parents knew the risk that was involved with them being there. So to shield their parents from that pain of possibly anything happening to them. Fast forward 50, 60, 70 years, these people are bringing their children to protest, and not only bringing their children to protest, but fear their safety so little that the event is being live streamed for YouTube, and they're requesting child-friendly events at protests. These leftist house cats, not only are they never beating the allegations, a lot of y'all are unserious. My black people, please rest. Please rest. Or maybe now is the time to show up to these protests, since clearly there's no danger. We're doing arts and crafts. We're doing bracelet making at the table over there at 11 o'clock. You know, sign making at noon. Like, what are we talking about here?
Please go watch her whole video, but I can tell you what it all boils down to is that white woman clearly has not deconstructed her internalized racism due to systemic racism here in America brought on by the Jim Crow laws. And I mean, honestly, our Constitution was designed to keep our feet on the throat of the black Americans that were enslaved and indentured into this fucked up autocracy that we all are currently experiencing. And white women are so damn disillusioned to them being the whole motherfucking problem. And I can show you some books. Hold on. If you are on the side of that woman thinking a bouncy house is the right place, this is the book you need to start reading right now. And this is quite literally the state of America because of dumb white women. And I'm so tired of it. I am tired of us. Stop it. Do better.
You bring.
I am leaving conspiracy theories and a lot of my personal opinions of a few things out of this video, but I wanted to put something out in the air. I know, it's morning. I'm not even ready for today, okay? This video needed to happen really quick. We are all here for this. We all want the change. The bounce houses at the, at these events is because us moms who want the change don't have childcare to be there. We want to make a difference and we want to show our faces and be there. But when your other half or you're a single mom who wants this change, what happens with your children? They got to come to these protests with you. Guess what? They're going to be the next generation of change. We want them to see this. We're raising homeschoolers and smart kids like this for a reason, because we want them to pay attention to democracy, to what the Constitution actually says, to what the right of all American people are, immigrant status, beside the point. We want a healthy America that our family can grow up in and see a successful future that they believe in, where their hopes and dreams are believed in.
After attending a protest.
I ain't got nothing to add. Go watch her video. And whether you feel her comments apply to you or not, if you're doing a political protest, part of me wants to encourage you, bring your children, but also that's not a children's event. And yeah, just listen to her video, listen to the complaint, hear it, and then genuinely in your soul ask, is it applicable to you?
Hello. And I think this is a really good idea, not because I want to make it more accessible to children, because yeah, people have been taking their children to protests for a while now, and it kind of got a little bit out of hand during the BLM protests when they were literally pepper spraying children. And then somehow they made it look like everything was getting out of hand and it was so violent. Hear me out. If there are a bunch of face painters there and bouncy houses and children are playing and having a good time, that's going to be doing two things. That's going to make it really, really difficult for the media to spin that into a violent thing. And number two, if there are face painters there, they could offer, like, have you seen the anti-AI face paint? They could offer that to adults, and that would be so fucking cool. There are a lot of net positives to having, like, bouncy houses and face painters and, sign makers, right? There are a lot of net positives for that. But that would also cost a lot of money, in which we do not currently possess, unless somebody is willing to, devote their time and resources towards that, which would be cool. But yeah, I was just looking at it from a different perspective. You can come for me in the comments, I don't really care. It's just a different perspective. If you agree, you agree. If you disagree, you disagree. I want to hear your thoughts, though.
The bouncy house situation on Threads has broken containment, and I want to talk about it. Unfortunately, I am considered a Threads power user by Meta. It's embarrassing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me catch you up. There was a woman who went to the hands-off protest yesterday with her small child, and she thought that there were not enough child-friendly activities at this protest, and one of the things that she suggested was a bouncy house. She rightfully got dragged in the comments, and people were like, yeah, that's not the point. There are other videos you can watch about how a white woman suggesting a bouncy house is a good activity for a child at a protest is not necessarily the best use of her time. But what I want to talk about is how this ties into an article that I read recently about how child-free people are ungovernable, because I think the bouncy house situation is actually a really good use case for what the article was trying to talk about. A lot of the protests that I've been to are quite dangerous. People with small children can't risk their lives or even a night in jail because they have a kid at home. I think the government knows this. I don't think it's any surprise that we are starting to see more and more legislation getting passed that is restricting women from having the right to choose whether they want to start a family or not. Because I really do think that the government knows that people with children are easier to control, cannot resist as easily, cannot organize as quickly, can't go to a protest on a school night, you know what I mean? Even though they're trying to replace all the jobs with fucking robots, they still want to have people having children because they can't do things like go to protests. And I thought it was just so ironic that this whole situation happened during the hands-off protests, literally weeks after I read this article about how child-free people are ungovernable, because this is the perfect example of what that looks like. Unfortunately, no, I do not have an answer for parents being more politically active at protests. I do not think the answer is bouncy houses though, but I did find the through line between these two things quite interesting. And I will say that there are other ways for parents to be activists, and I think that they should still engage in those behaviors. And I think at this point we can kind of stop shaming the bouncy house woman. Like, the point has been made, and we do not want to push her further to the right because of shame.
Adding bouncy houses to protests to make them more child friendly sounds less child friendly. Like, a bouncy house at a regular huge event is a nightmare, and I hate it, and there's a line and everyone's mad and the kids are angry. Like, adding a bouncy house to a protest, like, I'm trying to get stuff done. I'm trying to, like, make my voice heard. I'm not trying to wait in line so that my kid can whine at me about a bounce house. Like, be so for real. Like, if I'm bringing my child there, which I'm not, but if I am, like, I want my kid to understand what's happening in this moment. Like, we're not going to, like, the Harvest Festival, you know? Like, we're protesting for our rights, and, like, kids are not, like, if they're there, like, they should be aware of that. A bounce house at a protest? That's an embarrassing thing. You should delete all of your social media. You should delete all your social media, and you should sell your house for even suggesting that.
This comment says, I get not having a bounce house, but for a lot of these folks, this is their first time getting involved in any resistance. And if the barrier to entry is too high or it seems too scary, they won't join. This is on my video talking about what protests actually are. And listen, I've seen a lot of this. It's their first protest. They don't know what to do. At least they were there. At least they were doing something. That's missing the point. It's missing the point. It is nobody's responsibility but those people's that it's their first time showing up for a protest. It is nobody's responsibility but those people's that they did not do some background or some research about what protests actually are. It is nobody's responsibility but those people's that they treated these protests like a street fair, and then when they received feedback, now they're up in their feelings. There is no barrier to people protesting or not. People can protest how they want to. That does not mean that people are not going to have feelings about how those protests went, and that does not mean that people are not going to have feedback about how those protests went. And if somebody runs at the first instance of feedback, if somebody takes off running and says, I can't do this because they got feedback about their first protest, then they weren't in it for the long haul to begin with. This feedback that people have for the people providing feedback for the protests is misdirected. It's misdirected. You are worried about these people feeling uncomfortable and as a result not coming back. You're participating in the right to comfort, which is a characteristic of white supremacy, with them to coddle their feelings. And I'm never going to do that.
I stitched Sauce W's video that I woke up to first thing on TikTok because she goes into more depth about the situation, but I fully stopped paying attention after white lady complains that there are not enough child activities at a protest. That's by design, lady. This is a protest, not a weekend activity for the whole family. This is literally the penultimate action you take in your social construct before you engage in violence against whoever you're protesting. The kids are not meant to be there. They're meant to be at home seeing and hearing if you survived the protest. You're not supposed to have your kids there. This is not an activity for them. If they're there to fight. Shout out to Ovi, $8.95. Go get it, man.
Go back and hear what it says, and it's really disheartening, but it also, like, brings back to something I said in one of my previous, when I say POC solidarity does not exist, because these are the children or the grandchildren of the so-called hippies, of the Quakers, of the abolitionists. These are your allies. These are your comrades. These are the people who say that they want change and they really don't. These are your chaperones. Chappelle, whatever her name is. And like, they play in our face every fucking day, telling us that we need to rise up and nobody wants segregation, but they really do, because you're not doing anything to fight it. Because how can you fight and you asking for a bouncy house? I mean, I just really want black people to be like, because I can't I can't mobilize us. You know what I'm saying? And nor can I press upon y'all my opinions. But time is circular. They say if you don't do it now, it bounds to repeat itself. And we're very much seeing in real time a couple of historic events. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get, flag violated or demonetized. But at the end of the day, this is a game to them. Their lives aren't at stake. And if they are, they care and think so little of themselves and let alone anyone else that we really can't take them seriously, because they're not taking this seriously. So stay home, tan, sleep, eat properly, drink water. Please don't be out there in these shenanigans. It's not a safe or a fun environment. It's really not.
So lovely. There is actually this discourse all over the social platform, concerning the protests that happened on the 5th of April. So this particular pan-colored woman on Thread was, talking about how the protest was all boring and they were supposed to organize something like a bouncing castle for her kids and maybe face painting, what they do in the carnival, she wanted this carnival like a protest, and this got people reacting, and black people were like commenting and talking about how do you actually know how serious a protest is. You should differentiate what a protest and a carnival looks like. And this other pink-colored woman decided to come for black women, more specifically, like, oh my god, what is it that you people want, and all of that. Like, the woman in question who happened to go there, and she was streaming live, okay? I think she was actually deleted her commentaries concerning black women and all of that. Then she was actually streaming live, making it look like, oh, this is a movie. Like, I actually understand where black people and black women are coming from. These people can never take things serious because, yeah, if it does not really affect you all the way, you think that you often think that all of these things are just for a cruise, for a play, for, oh my god, for kind of like, it's a protest. People are hungry. People are losing their job. People are losing their livelihood. People are like, people's funds are being cut off. Like, there's this particular stitch. When I watched that stitch, I just weep. From a veteran, this man was mentally, physically crushing. He was drowning. He needed medical attention. He was crying. Like, he doesn't even see what a proper human being sees. You know? stories like that, people like that. You know, there are so many, kids in detention centers. There are people in detention centers as well, being maltreated, being not treated fine. On the other hand, people are losing their job. People the educational system is, oh my god. Everything is just being getting cut off. The system is just nothing to write home about, and people are worried and concerned, and they want their voices to be heard in a peaceful way. And you think that was actually the right time to allow people to, prepare a bouncing castle and whatsoever? That means you're not even serious, right? Do you think that the people that you want them that you are okay, the people whom you are sending the message across to, you think that they are going to take you serious? They will just see you as someone who really just want to enjoy another Saturday of coming together. Like, this has actually been a back and forth discussion. Other people was of the opinion that, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. This will give room for police people not to react. This will also, even if they can make provisions for face painting. Like, I don't even understand. This is a protest, right? If people want to make wherever government in power to tell you to make them understand that whatsoever that is going on, it's not pleasant to you. But with your bouncing castle painting your faces, they will see you as people that is unserious, right? That people just that you just want to chase clouds. You are not serious. But if they see you the way that you're serious, the way you're using your voices, I think that is when they will know that, oh, these guys are really serious. Maybe the way at which people that looks like me thought of it is very different from people that has privilege. When you have privilege, there's a way you like something like that can be very little thing. It's not big deal, because even if you do it or not, it might not even change nothing. So why should I stress myself, right? So this discourse has, even sometime I got so confused in the middle, like, okay, because some people were like, they were of the opinion that, with that being said, the bouncing castle or the face painting, it won't attract club members or police people to come disturb the protest. Why the other people were like, it's going to make it look so childish, or it's going to make it look so unserious. Anyway, lovelies, leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of these stitches. Please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video? And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.